Well, like I said towards the end of the last month review, April was pretty rough, getting a 3.5 out of 10 as an average score. But let's see if May improves things. Cody Peterson. So this was certainly an interesting video. I think this was another video where it didn't help that I wasn't quite in on the reference. Luckily, this video does a decent enough in-video job of explaining things. However, I think the biggest problem is that this video sort of meandered along. Not as badly as other videos have before, but it certainly could have been better, mainly with this pet store bit. I did find the ending pretty funny, and the snake bite scene was unintentionally funny because of the editing on it, and I thought Chris's Coyote Peterson was entertaining enough. But as for the rest of the video, it was just sort of okay. I really want to like this video for the moments it did have, however, I can't really give this video anything higher than a 4 out of 10. Not a ton actually happened in this video when you think about it. This video would have been a lot better had things actually scaled up for Cody, with him initially starting out super confident with lesser creatures, but then getting increasingly nervous until they get to the snake. Again, not a bad video by any means, but it could have been better. Pac-Man's divorce. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if for this entire review segment I just said everything in Waka Waka? Get it? Because Pac-Man? Yeah, that'd probably be funny for a few seconds, but not for the entire video. Well, yeah, that's this video's one big joke. Remember when Pac-Man could actually talk in videos? Because yeah, he used to be able to, but I guess he can't anymore. His voice must have gotten sold so he could do basically the same running joke for way too long. Also, this is another video where Brooklyn Guy basically took over the entire thing, so that means he has to talk a bunch, argue with the waiter at Applebee's, have the strip club scene, etc. Hooray, I'm so glad we haven't seen that bit multiple times over at this point. I think the video sort of improved towards the end, but by then I think it was too little too late. I'll give the video some points back for that much, but that's all I can really give it. 3 out of 10. It was just the same thing we've seen Brooklyn Guy do numerous times, but now they threw Pac-Man into the mix. Pac-Man didn't deserve this video, honestly. Jeffy's bowling ball. So this is one of those Jeffy videos where you'll notice that Jeffy wasn't really in it. Sure, he was there in the beginning and towards the very end, but a lot of this was just Brooklyn Guy. Oh boy. And yeah, a fair portion of this video was just Brooklyn Guy talking. Mind you, I thought the Nintendo animation was pretty decent. In fact, I find it funny that the Nintendo animations used to be something I'd be annoyed by, while now they're kind of preferred in these videos, especially where Brooklyn Guy just keeps talking. At least it's more interesting than Brooklyn Guy just sitting on the red couch and talking. Otherwise though, yeah, this video is a 3.5 out of 10. It had its moments, don't get me wrong, but most of the video was just boring. Also, why did Logan break the window in his front door for this video of all things? It's like they had the idea that breaking something again would be funny, but then they kind of realized they needed another 90% of the video, so they just rapidly shoved whatever together. The business deal. Well, despite this video basically being one long Angry Ronald segment, I actually thought it was okay. I think that's in part because this had the rather unique dynamic of Goodman and Marvin actually working together. That was the highlight of the video. I think the scene with Angry Ronald and Wendy went on longer than it realistically should have, though. If this scene had been half as long, that would have made the video better. And actually, in general, I think this video's runtime could have been shortened by at least a third. So yeah, this one's going to be a 4.5 out of 10. It's an okay video, but it still ultimately suffered from too much filler, as is common for many videos with Angry Ronald, which is a shame since this video actually had a unique idea. Jeffy's Naughty Magazine. So, whose video idea was this? And seriously, who thought this video was a good idea? I actually have a fair bit to say about this video. First of all, this video features Jonathan and Brooklyn Guy's mom again, so you know this video is effectively doomed. Then we have the fact that this video is one giant blur fest. Seriously, I hope you enjoy the look of having Vaseline smeared across your entire monitor, because that's what watching this video is like. I'm not even mad that they blurred it because obviously this probably wouldn't fly on YouTube. I'm more upset that this video exists to begin with, because I refuse to believe that this really just blindsided Logan. Like, he didn't know that this video would have to be blurred. In other videos, such as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I get that sort of surprised him, especially since he has done gratuitous amounts of gore before in videos. But not only did this video come after that one, but it was pretty obvious it would have to be blurred, and it just sort of ruins the video. Also, Jeffy is barely in this video, so why is it called Jeffy's Naughty Magazine? Jeffy wasn't even in this video for 90 seconds out of a 10-minute runtime. And finally, the whole joke of this video was, "Whoa, look at that!" and nothing else, and it got tiresome rather quick. Fine, you want a better video idea? Well, here's two. Make the magazines more fictional, as in have the covers featuring actual puppet characters. Or if you want, you can make a callback to Pac-Man's divorce where you even see Miss Pac-Man on one of the covers. Have that teacher from Cody Goes to Kindergarten. With Rose's past, have her on one of them. It would actually be interesting to see the awkward discussions it would entail with each one. Have characters go, uh-oh, after realizing that they recognize someone in there. That would be a somewhat funny and creative video, and you could also possibly avoid the whole having to blur things part. Alternatively, have the video focus much more on Jeffy having to find a creative place to hide the magazine, even if we stick with the actual magazines, with Marvin realizing something's up and trying to find it. Especially since the magazine wouldn't be on screen for that long, it would at least help with the issue of the video being a blur, quite literally in this case. 2 out of 10. I thought there were a couple somewhat funny jokes, but that's instantly torn down by just how awful and annoying this video was. Ray Rants actually made his own video on how weird this video was, so maybe go check that out after this. Jeffy's Mother's Day. Well, where to begin with this video? This video actually had an almost interesting premise, even if the conflict could be seen coming from a mile away. Of course, this was just a dumb video based on a misunderstanding, followed by them realizing Jeffy is missing, then way too many Blumpkin jokes. We get the return of Nancy again. You know what? I'm going to start calling her Nancy Afton going forward. She's written off again, and then oh haha, it was all just a dream. But worst of all, a lot of this video was just talking. And it wasn't even Brooklyn Guy's fault this time around, which is even worse. This video proves a few things to me. Even when Logan wants to do a serious plot such as Jeffy literally running away, it still has to fall back on a bunch of filler because I guess nothing interesting could ever be done with the premise of Jeffy running away. Next, even with Nancy Afton being dead supposedly, Logan has no qualms in bringing her back regardless. Will anyone be at all surprised by her somehow returning for Jeffy's 20th birthday? Like, I get we're making the Afton joke here, and as contrived as some of his reappearances have been over the years, at least they have some reason to them, and they can sometimes be creative. With Nancy, though, it's literally just, oh hey, she's back now. Finally, the ending of it being a dream was stupid. We never get any indication it was a dream until the very end of the video, and the whole thing feels contrived and lazy. Seriously, this video could have had such an easy change to make the "it was all a dream" bit still work. Have the same things happen, but instead of Jeffy running away, he instead goes to bed crying, and he has nightmares about the past or about running away. Have a romp through his psyche and his nightmares for a bit. That's where it would make sense to have Nancy placed, honestly, and it would make the ending of the video where Jeffy says how thankful he is for Rose actually mean something. This is another 2 out of 10 video. Between the contrived plot elements, lazy setup, filler, dumb jokes, and the return of Nancy Afton, I'm legitimately just sick of this video. Mathdominus made his own video on how awful this video was, so check that out as well. John F. Kennedy. Really running out of those Ken puns, huh, Logan? However, all things considered, I thought this video was, dare I say it, decent. Not great, mind you, and looking back at it, I think my initial rating might have been a bit high, but this video was at least somewhat creative with its shots. Wait, maybe not the best word to use there. And its angles. Damn it, and I think this really drove the video to... Oh, wait, fuck! Okay, but seriously, the new camera angles were pretty neat to see, although I still want to know why Ken bleeds. I thought that whole portion of figuring out who did it was just sort of okay, but the Judge Chris /Pablo/Poobie segment genuinely made me laugh. and I have no idea if the gavel breaking was intentional or not. But regardless, it was certainly a good save on Chris's part, instead of turning the whole thing into a giant fourth wall break a moment. I understand that this video isn't exactly the most historically accurate thing. As for a score, I'm going to have to give this a 5.8 out of 10. While it had unique and interesting moments, the score was dragged down a bit by some of the talking in the middle. I'll also add that I didn't exactly miss Timmy, but he wasn't too terrible in this video. Though, I hope he stays dead now, since that would be a decent way to end the Cody x Timmy arc, honestly. Jeffy's traffic light. Okay, seriously, what was this video? I don't even dislike the video since I think it's fine, but this was just a sort of random video. From what Mario said to Jeffy when he threw the plate, to Jeffy sliding into the room, to just the whole premise of them stealing an entire traffic light, it's just all very random. Plus, why did Cody suddenly want to steal more stuff since he'd normally be super nervous or telling Junior what a dumb idea this was and, oh wait, that's right, this is modern Cody, so never mind I guess. I don't know, honestly I didn't think this video was great or terrible, just sort of weird. It's one of those videos that I guess isn't supposed to make sense, so I guess my only complaints are that some scenes went on a bit long, as well as modern Cody. Otherwise though, 4.5 out of 10. It was an okay video, but rewatching it, you begin to realize how it just sort of doesn't make sense. The Avengers of D. You know what? This whole video was one big alright I get it moment. Because, you see guys, the whole joke is that when they say D, they really mean... Well, okay, I think you get that joke. I did think shulbugadu, which is totally how you pronounce it, was actually somewhat funny. However, I think the rest of this video ranged from just sort of okay to, oh look, there's Brooklyn guy talking again for way too long. Although I will say the joke where Mario wanted to have it all end was good, though that's probably also because it reminded me of that Far Cry moment. But as for the rest of the video, honestly it kinda sucked. Like 2.5 out of 10. I will give a little bit back to this video, considering this was one of the few times where it seemed Rose actually sort of cared for Mario. I'd almost be willing to get this video into the 3 or even 4 range if it wasn't the same singular joke over and over again, followed by Brooklyn guy just not shutting up! I laughed at, what? 1 joke in this video, maybe 2 if you count the return of Mosquito Man. Seriously, this video was dumb, and I still don't know why videos like these continue being made, aside from the fact that the schedule demands it. Jeffy's lie detector. Well, this was a very mixed video. We had a cat, which automatically increases the score of this video, but then we had Jeffy's dumb shenanigans, as well as a joke where he'll say, old, insert word here, dick, which is actually a joke from a while back. So why do I mention it? Because he does it several times throughout this video, and it was annoying after probably the second time. Seriously, I don't get why this joke continued for as long as it did, but it was certainly obnoxious. Then we get this segment where Mario and Rose are wanting to put up posters of Pumpkin being missing, which went on a bit longer than I would have preferred, though it wasn't awful to be fair. We only get to the lie detector part nearly halfway into the video, and for some reason Mario keeps calling it a time machine. I thought that Jeffy's portion with the lie detector was honestly the weakest, but the others were somewhat funny, even if they went on a bit long. Goodman's portion was actually my favorite though, because while I think the Goodman threatens Mario when he doesn't have his house payment bit is overdone, it's funny to see that he literally means every single word of it. Honestly, this video is a 5.5 out of 10. I thought it was decent, but had a problem of some scenes or jokes being repetitive or simply going on too long. It was a somewhat creative idea, and in my opinion had some decent execution, but the flaws sort of dragged the video down a bit unfortunately. Cody Goes to Kindergarten Part 6. Well, my opinion on this video has sort of soured since I watched it the first time. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's a video that made a decent attempt to be funny and sort of interesting, but it really wasn't all that funny or interesting. A good portion of this video was just the final exam portion of the kindergarten class, which went on for minutes on end with not much else happening. I thought Principal Steinbeck was pretty good as always, and the reveal of Daryl actually being able to talk was really funny. But man, is this series still going? Well, at least this is the last one before summer vacation. Oh wait, never mind. They're continuing this into a summer school series. Great. That also means we'll have to have more of this series, and now we'll have to specify which summer school series we're talking about. Ugh. 4.5 out of 10. I'm arguably giving this more than it reasonably deserves, but I can appreciate that the jokes in this video were certainly okay, and you can tell that this video in general tried a fair bit. However, it gets dragged down by the other issues with this video, as well as the fact that this series is still going, and I seriously didn't want to have a timeline where I'm having to specify which summer school series I'm talking about, but now I have to, I guess. The Charlie and Friends problem. Okay, points right off the bat for a really creative video premise. We rarely get Braxton, but too bad I'm still calling him Bowser videos anymore. And that's doubly true for Charlie-centered videos. I'll also add that some of this can be argued to be commentary on something. Though I will say now that I thought that sort of angle is what made this video pretty good. I will admit that the new Charlie segment is a bit hard to sit through upon rewatching, though I understand that's part of the point. So it sort of levels out to a point where I won't add or dock points for it. Bowser's reaction to all of this was actually pretty fair. I mean, to a point at least. And I haven't even mentioned these segments with Anthony, Chris, and Elena. Seriously, say what you will about modern SML, but they're pretty great actors. So I'm going to be giving this video a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, really. I could understand people not caring for this video, but honestly, I really liked it, especially because of the commentary of it. Yes, let's get to that portion, and how this could be seen as some commentary on reboots in general, or a series running too long. While I'm not going to get into this too much, instead saving it for a full video, I will say that this video had some very interesting commentary to look at and really think about, which is actually kind of amazing for an SML video, let alone a modern SML video. You could argue that it's the state of a bunch of modern shows or movies just being reboots of the same thing over and over again, or about a given series running too long, or even you could argue it's about SML itself. Again, there will be a full video about this, but that's where the majority of this video's points are coming from. It's not even that this is a super creative video, it's the fact that it can arguably make the viewer actually think about something and in general be interesting. And not to mention, we even get this line which perfectly sums up my thoughts on many modern SML videos.
So where's the funny, guys? I'm not laughing.
So yeah, very good job on this video. I'm actually really impressed. Final Destination. Now, as someone who hasn't seen much about Final Destination, I can't exactly say how faithful this video is to the actual movies, but what did I think of this video outside of that? Well, it was okay. It wasn't amazing, mainly because Brooklyn Guy talks a bit too much in it for my liking, especially upon rewatching. And then all of the other deaths, while funny enough, all just sort of happen in rapid succession out of nowhere. While I had a bit of praise watching this video for the first time, honestly, I can only give this a 4.5 out of 10. It was an okay video, don't get me wrong, but I can't really give this much of a higher ranking since it felt like not a ton really happened until the very end where a bunch of things all got crammed in all at once. Jeffy's Escape Room. This video is actually quite interesting for its importance, since this is apparently the 1000th SML movie. Can you believe it, guys? Now, I don't know whether that total counts things such as remakes or not, but that's still really cool. And so, how was this video? It was meh. It was a lot of not much happening, with the first couple minutes taken up with a bunch of talking, and this board game Junior, Joseph, and Cody were playing. But it's okay, we actually do get to the escape room portion, which is actually kinda boring as well. There were no hints given, so it was just Brooklyn Guy and... well, okay, it was mainly Brooklyn Guy just fumbling around while Karen complains about being hungry. There were a couple funny moments in here, such as the segments with Jackie Chu, but honestly, I didn't think this video was all that good. Like, I'll give it points for sort of almost trying, but realistically, this is only a 3.5 out of 10. I thought that the commercial for the escape room was sort of funny as well, but also rather lazy since it just took place in the void. I mean, really? You couldn't even put this in front of a green screen and have Cody in front of a fence or something? This whole video feels super thrown together last minute. Not helping this video is that SML YTP also did a Jeffy's Escape Room video, but did it way better since it was actually interesting to watch. What a shame that the final video of May was actually pretty weak, let alone the 1000th SML movie. Although, to be fair, I don't think Logan really knew about it being the 1000th SML movie in advance, so I'm not docking him points or anything for a bad special or what have you. Well, time for May's final score, which gets a 4.1 out of 10. But let's round that to a more normal number of a 4 out of 10. And yes, I know I rounded down this time. It's just so happened that in previous months that I've been able to reliably round the score up, but even I think a bump in score all the way up to a 4.5 from a 4.1 would be too much. The good news is that this month had a couple pretty decent videos, and one actually really good video in there. This felt like a sort of roller coaster of a month. We got some pretty bad videos in here, but we also managed some decent ones in here. However, those decent and even good videos, especially the Charlie and Friends problem, were doing a lot of work to keep this score. I will say that the first half of this month wasn't all that good, but things picked up more towards the end. I mean, sort of. Perhaps if an okay streak can be kept up, then next month might be decent. Though I'm not getting my hopes up, since the last time we were at a 4 out of 10, the score quickly fell in March, and even more by April. Mainly because Logan seems to come up with some of these fairly decent videos at random, after which point you better say goodbye to them, since they won't be back for a bit, certainly not in any sort of regular form at least. But hey, hopefully I'm wrong, and maybe June will be even better. Maybe. Well, thank y'all for watching, and take care.
Daryl can talk!
He can talk, 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 he can talk!
I can sing!